Claude Code source may have just leaked, and this whole stream is just going to be an education and entertainment only stream. This is me. I'm going to be looking basically on X and in these different places, people talking about this whole thing that's going on. And you may have seen it in your radar. People were downloading this thing. And I highly encourage you not to go and do anything kind of silly like that. This type of stream is just me as an engineer who's just really, really curious about this stuff that's actually happening and breaking right now. So I appreciate you showing up here live with me. And if you're going to be watching this later on, there's going to be some timestamps and stuff below. And we're going to be covering quite a bit of topics. We're also going to be covering me installing Hermes on my DGX Spark, also my WatchClaws app, and I might even sign up for ChatGPT Pro again and kind of light that up because I have a massive plan that I need to orchestrate, and I want to kind of get right into the details right now of what's been going on. So a lot has been going on in this entire space. And if you're like me, I follow Alex Volkov, amazing. He has a great show called Thursday AI. He's always really on top of it. And so basically what ended up happening is allegedly the source code got leaked and was available as a .map file inside of Claude Code, for Claude Code on the actual repo. And so the .map file is like for debugging, and that thing will basically take the production code and, when you need to debug something, you can just, all the stuff is obfuscated. That's why people don't have the source code. It just runs on your machine and on your device. And usually that's gated whenever you push stuff into software, like into the registry saying, okay, please don't put these files out. We're just going to put this type of production thing in. And so that actually was available for a period of time. And then someone basically committed the map file of Claude Code and basically leaked the entire source code. And then this person here was tired after running 2 South Korean hackathons at SFs, saw the leak, and the rules in Korea apparently are different. So he cloned the repo, went to sleep. He basically wakes up with 25K stars. And his girlfriend says like, hey, go ahead and take it down. Like, there's probably some corporate lawyer that may get involved and stuff like that. So this is a pretty spicy topic. There's a lot going on here. And again, this is an educational and entertainment type of stream today. I'm not going to show any of the source code. I really don't. I respect everyone's work here, and I don't want to put that out there. I just want to kind of merely talk about it as engineers kind of hanging out in a water cooler and invite you to talk about it. So huge shout outs to Sterling Cooley as well. Thanks for tuning in. Got some other folks going here. There's a lot going on. So yeah, the leak is fake. I asked Sam Altman. He says it's not Codex. Oh yeah, there's also Codex apparently leaked their stuff too. I signed up for ChatGPT Pro, was hoping to have Claude only. Yeah, so the reason also why I want to sign up for ChatGPT Pro is because of the Hermes model. And if you haven't heard about that for an agent, we're going to get into that a little bit later in the stream because I can just start running that on the Hermes agent. A lot of people are saying it's the OpenClaw killer. Is it? I mean, you tell me. We're about to get this thing cooking. So a lot going on right now. Back to our Claude thing and see what's going on. So their team decided, instead of hosting the code because they're of the lawyer thing, what if they actually just ported over to Python? Surely this is more legal, right? And I want to talk about this specific thing that's really interesting about porting code over to a different thing. I don't know if you know this, but AMD as a company was literally born out of generated specs from basically an Intel CPU, right? So Intel had their stuff, and one of their architects just, pieced out and what basically sat down and just from all of the stuff that's in his head, spec'd out what, AMD should basically build. I mean, this is kind of a story or the lore that's currently told. And I'm sort of just repeating this because I heard the inventor of Ralph William talk about this. Blanking on his name right now so hard. I just don't know why. Shoot, I forget his name. Anyways, the whole thing that makes this even more interesting, and this is kind of why I wanted to really talk about this, is because if you take the specs of something that like a piece of software that you use, and you just spec it out, that's totally okay. You're not actually using the source code in your app to build something else, right? You're just taking the experience. You're like, what if I add this? Or what if I make it this way? And so that's the interesting part, right? So now you have the specs, you have a structure for how you do things. When I produce software, in Droid, I constantly do spec mode because I want to know what specific features am I going to ship, what is going to be tested, what's going to be validated, and what's actually going to be executed in code so that you can kind of do that round robin. So this is where it gets really spicy. And the inventor of the Ralph loop basically says the same thing. Is like, these people took the Intel thing, spec'd it out, made the AMD stuff, and then they gave this guy a golden parachute to go off, and say, hey, good luck. Thank you so much for your service. You're a valuable person, and get out of here. And then like AMD was born, right? So check this out. This moment in time that we're living through, it just feels like a crazy, I think I'm dreaming. I think you're dreaming too. If you briefly get and can build specs for another coding agent based off of some source code or something like that, and this person's operating in a whole different country or something like that, and then you have these specs that are out there now publicly with all these little details of all these nuances that you can use to produce what you ever want to produce. Can you make a better version? You can then translate that into Python. And in fact, they're even going to translate that into Rust, which is kind of crazy. So we're about to have an open source Claude Code in Rust, which is going to be absolutely bonkers. So in this repo here, there's actually a branch in here that's basically going to port it over to Rust. Because of all the attention that this is getting right now, the community is going absolutely gangbusters on this whole thing. And so now that they actually have all the specs for how to build this thing, they're like, can we actually make Claude Code more productive so that when we use it, it doesn't eat up all of my memory? I can kick off all the sub agents. I can do everything that I want to do, but just have it be really, really fast. And this is where it gets really spicy, right? Because now, is it like the legal territory is now completely like, I feel like out the window? Like, what happens now? What if their repo becomes more popular than the other coding agent repos, right? Because now this thing can be used for other things too, right? So, and it's open source. Like, it's like they're not actually copying the code now at this point. They're just copying the concepts that were already revealed. And so how different is that then from talking to an engineer or hiring the person who worked at that company and then having them work for you and then having them imbue the ideas, the architecture, the ideology, right? Because you can't necessarily patent architecture per se or patent like a spec, maybe you can, but if you then take your own thing and build your own stuff, you can then patent that spec, right? All you have to do is add like a little, a different value. Mind you, this is an entertainment and education stream. I'm not a lawyer. I'm barely an engineer. Basically, I'm just a person yapping to you on this beautiful microphone somewhere in the middle of California in the Bay Area or something like that. But I'm just saying, this is just absolutely bonkers right now. Huge shouts to Adonai as well, who always covers a lot of cool security stuff. If you haven't had a chance to check out his X channel, definitely go check it out. Yeah, this is, we are in a world of truly open source and companies are... Yeah, entire Apple Grip chat is watching this. I didn't realize that. I don't even know who's actually watching right now. I'm just kind of catching up with the comments. Do you think Anthropic will address the insanely low limits this past week, considering canceling Claude Code Max and scoring a second GPT Pro account? So I really do hope that they fix that thing. So if anyone isn't familiar, there's a caching issue that's going on right now. And so separate from that, in the last 24 hours, the guy basically found out why the Claude Code costs are 10 to 20x higher than they should be. So this is alleged, right? Like, this is not verified information. This is literally a tweet from X. So take this for what it is. And I'm just kind of reporting that here right now. So basically, he's saying that he actually reverse engineered the binary. This is before the open source stuff happened, by the way, or not the open source, before the leak actually happened. So they were trying to figure out what's actually causing this from first principles perspective. So apparently, if your conversation mentions anything about billing, tokens, or Claude Code internals, the cache actually breaks. So if you aren't familiar with the way that the caching stuff works, is whenever you send a request like, hi, can you give me a pizza recipe? Then like that gets sent out to the model responds. And then when you send a secondary message, it's like, cool, what happens? What's the calories of all that stuff? All those messages that happened before it basically don't cost you the same rate, because you would have to add up all of the tokens and then send that back to the model. So whenever the cache breaks, you would then pay again as if you're starting a new chat and copying and pasting all that stuff into a new chat. So if if you spent like 60,000 tokens, usually they would give you a break on that because that's already warmed up somewhere in the model weights. All the calculations have already been done, so they give you the benefit of the doubt. And usually they jettison it at a certain interval, 5 minutes, 1 hour, several hours. So that way they don't have to do the recalculations again for your requests, because you could still be doing that, especially with agentic loops if you're waiting for types of things like that. So that's caching in a nutshell. And whenever that breaks, then you tend to use up more of your consumption, which can go against your budget. So in this case, the bug here basically is saying that if this was mentioned, and this is allegedly, right? This is literally from a tweet. This is not truthful information. This is literally just us, trying to X farming, I guess. I don't know what it is, but I have no validity. I don't even know who this person is. So this is kind of what we're stringing together here. If you get charged the full price instead of cash price, so the fix here is to actually run the NPX version instead of the standalone binary. So the interesting thing about this is that there was also a supply chain attack that just happened in the last 24 hours. And so in the supply chain attack, what ended up happening is if you have this version of Axios, which is like a big library and so forth, they're like allowed people to like install code and execute it remotely. So if you did this and you basically got the bad version of the Axios thing, is this a seed as well to get people to try to do more NPM installs to get them to do this thing? Like, see, this is kind of where I'm trying to trace through this thing. I didn't do anything. I was just kind of reading this stuff. I'm like, yo, this stuff. Luckily, I was just busy yesterday, but like, man, I don't even know all the stuff that's going on. This is kind of why I wanted to do the live stream today, because there's just too much to unpack and I needed to do this live. So every time, the second bug apparently that this guy allegedly found out was if you resume your entire conversation, the cache rebuilds from scratch. So one resume on a large conversation costs 15 cents, and which should be near zero cost. So the system injects attachments in a different position on the resume versus the fresh sessions. So if that resume happens and it does the offset, basically your cache is busted, right? So there's no clean fix yet. This is allegedly, right? So this is kind of what they're saying on a 500K token request. These two bugs combined can cost you 20 cents plus per request. So if your usage was, and this is apparently from the r/Claude AI thread. And so that's an interesting thing here. So yeah. Let's see. I'm going to kind of catch up with the comments. Definitely didn't download the 9.5 megabyte zip file on X. Yeah, I definitely did not because of legal purposes for sure. Someone needs to make a PR and add the SRC directory to the main Claude repo while the Anthropic now sends DMC a takedown for a PR. Oh, that's interesting. I find it literally weird how there's a bug that makes 10 to 20x usage concludes Opus. Yeah. So this is an interesting one because this is kind of what we're trying to figure out, and I think there's something here to pull that thread and stuff. But yeah, a lot of people are also saying that they love Anthropic, but has been inconsistent for weeks and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Other people are having also problems with the dash resume. That's such a buzzkill that this has been happening. Someone else already made a PR for the source. Okay, I've taken a few days off until things stabilize. Just plain stupid all around. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's probably a better way to just kind of take a day off right now. If there's just too much that's kind of moving. And I was just busy taking care of like a lot of other family stuff. I think that's kind of what's going on. So in terms of like what's actually in there, I'm not going to obviously scrape through the code publicly and just show anything because all this stuff is just not really my domain anyways. But I thought some people online made some interesting comments here on X. So Chubby here, Kiminais or something, this is the handle. So it says that Claude Mythos Capybara tier is already in version 2. It'll have context window of 1 million. So Mythos is apparently this new like a bigger model that the Anthropic team apparently or allegedly is waiting to drop, because there was, I think within the last 2 days, a leak of this actually happening as well. So I don't know if their models or someone who's responsible is like accidentally leaking stuff, or everyone's moving really fast in this space. So this is the information that we have with us right now, and that's kind of what's going on. Mythos comes in as fast and regular thinking is apparently what it says. And this person's like pointing to screenshots here. And then apparently Opus 4.7 and Sonnet 4.8 is already on deck. So that's apparently there. And then Claude Buddy is found. It's not clear what it is. So that's an interesting thing there. So Anthropic is working on Capybara models called Capybara V2 Fast, 1 million context. And so my thinking is that like whenever these types of things happen, they also have like different release partners and different things that are happening too, right? This is just me guessing from what I hear in the tea leaves here in San Francisco. It's like if you're like a customer who's paying probably $10 million plus a month or something like that, I don't know what you're paying for compute costs, you probably get access to some of these things. If you're an employee, you probably get that. I'm pretty sure that some of the employees have already had that million context window for Opus for the last 6 months. But imagine having that plus Opus Fast. So as an employee, you're more incentivized to increase the speed of your shipping. And now imagine having this model at a million token context window, right? It uses up a lot of compute. You get the priority GPUs because you're an employee, and you're basically trying to outwork all of your competition. That's crazy, right? So as people who are paying $200 a month, like in the terms of priority tiers, that's already pretty high in terms of consumer standpoint. But like there's enterprise people who have these massive contracts, right? And then there's the employees who are competing against the world stage. So there's not enough compute to go around. So imagine trying to reallocate these types of things. And there's rumors that like, you know, the OpenAI teams are also doing reallocations, right? Like the removal of Sora and then like reprioritizing projects and shifting stuff around. There's a lot of whispers in Silicon Valley that I'm sort of like overhearing. And I'm not saying like, this is why this isn't an entertainment. We're just entertaining the ideas here. And this is not like a stream that you should probably take very seriously. This is just literally just kind of entertainment purposes. And I just thought I'd mess with you guys here and see what's going on. Cloud Body sounds like their official version of OpenClaw, always on available assistant. Yeah, there's something to that note as well that I was reading, and we're kind of trying to see if we could find it, that somebody was saying that something can actually take a look at your computer, almost like a computer use. And as you're doing things, it will either suggest or take over or do tasks for you. So imagine if you're coding in a project and it's taking a look at what you're doing. And it's like, okay, you're going to be doing this. I know what you're going to be doing 5 steps from now. I'm going to go queue that up and let you know that I'm working on it. It's like, that will feel like AGI, to be honest. That's crazy. It's a bug, Anthropic, it's revenue. Coincidentally, yes, but I do feel like the teams aren't really. So here's a couple of things. And I kind of know this from personal experience, having worked at some companies where if they give you some credits and stuff like that, this happens, you know, if you like, for example, if someone pays your cell phone bill, you would not be tracking as closely like your minutes and stuff that you use unless you're actually paying for it, right? So if you're an employee of that company and your cell phone bill is paying for it, you're just going to be making calls left and right. So you may not realize there's like a bug that's actually happening on your device of like a minutes leakage or an accounting issue, unless you're specifically one of the teams that's doing quality on that specific thing. And so if you're working on some of these large companies that are, you know, dealing with all these tokens and stuff, those employees aren't like auditing all of their output, right? Unless they have like a whole auditing system, unless they have a whole QA system and so forth. And so they're probably relying on a lot of the feedback from users who are like talking about it. So it's hard to tell like whether a Reddit thread is real or not, and whether it's just someone just complaining for the sake of complaining or there's actually evidence there. So yeah, I mean, this is just, and they're still a startup, right? Technically a startup, right? So there's a lot of things that they can focus on, and there's only so many things they can focus on at once. I'm not saying this from like, I'm just saying it more from like an engineering experience standpoint. That's kind of all I'm really saying that there. So that's what's up. 2026, there is no moat. 1999, there's no spoon. Yeah. So our boy Alex Finn here says, unreal. The entire Claude Code source just leaked. It reveals every secret Anthropic has in store for Claude. I went through all 600,000 lines of code, and here's every juicy detail that you need to know about Claude Code. It is built on what's coming next. Damn, that's what's up. So yeah, I reverse engineer Claude Code. It was running and now has bypassing permissions, so create edition. That'd be an interesting thing here. So he basically says, here's a breakdown, proactive mode. So proactive mode in the code is a feature flag for proactive. So this will basically do the work for you 24/7. And this is kind of what I was talking about a little bit earlier, is about that proactivity that we were talking about. So that apparently, allegedly is there. He did not go through all 600K lines of code. I don't know. I want me to call him up and ask him? We could do that. Henry went through all 600,000 lines of code. That's what I believe. I mean, that's why you have AI working for you, right? Claude will be able to dream. So a new dream mode is coming, which will allow Claude to just be constantly thinking in the background, developing ideas, improving your current ones, and just giving you nonstop intelligence, solving your problems. Do Claude's Hold on. Do Claude's dream of sleep? So I don't know if you know this, but low key, this is a concept that's been lifted from these live streams here, like almost 2 months ago. Like the whole dream mode, if you haven't seen this. So Dream Ray Fernando skill. So I never made up skill publicly. This was kind of available for some of the folks. Some people are starting to give me credit for it. It's not even showing up right now. Let's see. Dream Claude skill Ray Fernando. Maybe I'll have to look it up on EXO. I'll look it up on EXO. Dream skill Ray Fernando. I love EXO. It's much better. Here you go. DreamCycle skill. So somebody took my skill that was in the private Discord and then put it publicly. I don't know. And it has 2.5K stars. Like I don't even get credit for my own dream skill. So based on Ray Fernando's DreamCycle concept for OpenClaw memory management, I made a whole memory management system like live on stream a couple months ago. And I said, like, I want basically the whole system to kind of take in, because what I noticed in the patterns of whenever you have these long conversations, there are cool stuff that you can snip out. And whenever you work with like memory systems, you want to take out different concepts, different relationships, and then you want to have a smart model do some processing and to start asking questions. So the reason why you do this is especially helpful for re-ranking type of questions. So whenever you ask a question, you want to have that question and answer already kind of established so that then you can train against that. And so I was trying to build this system before Hermes agent came out. And this is something that I'm going to try to work on in the future as well, is like my own custom. I'm leaking all the alpha right now because this is just going to be public anyways. So I'm just telling you what's going on. This was the first step of many. See, like the people can't take all what's in here. I'm just going to talk about it loud and then it'll just happen, which is kind of cool. Like we're in a society where you can just speak your intention and then somebody will probably build it in the next 5 minutes, right? So that's kind of where we're at right now. And this is where the DreamCycle came from. And they literally just took my exact dream thing and just put it up on the skill file. So I basically set a limit for different tiers. So basically level 1, level 2, level 3 types of things. And so whenever you're using QMD, which is what I was using for OpenClaw, is kind of like the way that I did this. And as part of my morning brief, I wanted to kind of find some patterns and suggest some things. So this person basically open sourced my skill. And then they kind of probably ran their own thing against it to make it, sort of personalized. But hey, they gave me credit, which is awesome. This is a private skill. You're implementing Ray Fernandez DreamCycle for. I don't think he didn't even take out my own personal thing in the dream. This is so good. This is so good. This is funny. Anyways, this dream concept has been out for a little while. There was a blog post that was mentioned about this, that Anthropic is doing this, and they give credit to absolutely no one, which I find really hilarious. So yeah, that's kind of, this is like not surprising, and this is a concept that we've been doing here. So if you want more of this type of stuff, we're going to get into a little bit later, setting up our DGX Spark with Hermes. I'm going to show you this cool project right now called WatchClaws in a little bit. So like this is something that I'm going to get into, and this is why I want to sign up for ChatGPT Pro, is because this is my prototype that I made. And so I wanted to have an ability so that I can track all of my coding agents plus my OpenClaws up in here. So if I wanted to see what's going on with my OpenClaw, I can have this interaction and talk on the microphone. And if I wanted to also do anything else, I could just have this type of view. So I can click here and switch between my different repos really fast. And then I could just tell it, hey, yo, man, let's go ahead and cook here because this is fire, right? So checking and then like send to the CI pipeline, like whatever stuff I want to do, I could do that. And then if I wanted to stop everything, I could just click this thing and just, tap again and just kill all my processes just in case something went wrong. So this is going to be like, if I'm running Droid, I can see what's going on with the Droid sessions. If I'm running Cursor, all of this stuff can be controlled literally just from my watch, which is fire. So I have a whole architecture diagram and everything for this thing that I've basically been cooking. Includes a menu bar type of thing. This thing is just, I've been going absolutely gangbusters, and I've been like, I got inspired by some of the grid lens stuff. This is a terminal UI that actually runs on the web browser. So you can technically run this on a watch. You can run this anywhere. You can run a website basically. So I have a massive architecture plan that I've scoped out. And so I'm going to, a little bit later in the stream, I'm going to try to sign up for ChatGPT Pro. And then I'm going to throw this architecture plan in there and have it help me scope out some additional things. It's a really massive scope, and I think a lot of people are going to really benefit from this. And so the architecture is going to be pretty fire, you know. And so yeah, this is it's going to be open source as well. So this is going to be, everything's going to be open source. This is kind of a really basic kind of overview. So all of the apps and plugins, which is nice. So whenever you want to make an app or a plugin or something specific to this thing, it's going to be made independently. So that way, like, each people can have project ownerships. And then we'll have different agent adapters. So the agent adapters are the ones that I was talking about for Codex, Cursor. And so each of those are going to be basically living as plugins. And so this is going to be sort of like a plugin system. So that way, if code breaks in one, it doesn't break the entire repo. The plugin's literally isolated and can go through changes and can have tags and versioning systems. This is something I'm extremely familiar about from shipping really large pieces of software at some fruit company and somewhere in the valley. I don't know, but I thought I would take some of that like, you know, large type of pieces here, but start really, really small with one of the components. But whenever you design architecture software, you kind of need to spend a lot of days thinking through all these details, and the details really do matter. And the thing I'm excited about ChatGPT Pro is that it likes to think really thoroughly about a lot of these details and call out things. So I think it's going to call out a lot of things. And I don't feel like a lot of these models I can have this nice back and forth like thoroughness with, unless I'm chatting with another engineer. And I think ChatGPT Pro is that type of model. You know, Opus is nice, but I only get, you know, even though I have a 1 million token context window, like, I don't feel like it's as smart as ChatGPT Pro. Y'all let me know. I mean, have you seen ChatGPT Pro cook on some architecture? This is going to be a really fun conversation, and that's why I want to take you through this towards the end. So that'll be a little bit later. Let's get back a little bit on what's happening on the tweets and stuff like that. WatchClaw is a great idea. Volkov for Meta Ray-Bans. Yeah, so see, this is where I'm going with this. So the whole reason why I'm doing this architecture is because my boy Alex Finn has those awesome glasses called the reality glasses, where it shows in his screen like what he can see and so forth. And so this part of this whole architecture was to also have a menu bar on the Mac. And this will also be what's on those glasses as well. So you can swipe with the glasses, go up and down. You can select one, and then you can speak and say, I want to do this. And that's why I wanted to start with a watch UI, because it's the most simplest form factor. And you can see how simple that was to operate. And it's not slop. It's literally just me, right? Like, I'm giving it the instructions, and it's helping me structure like this idea and really kind of come through this whole thing. That's what I do. I do agentic engineering, and this is kind of like what we've been doing here. We've started this movement back in summer of 2024. So in summer of 2024, you started this whole live stream stuff, and you know, it's been exploding. So my boy AJ, you know, Alex Finn, all these people have been like doing these types of things, and we're kind of doing this stuff live. And that's why I like to do it live, because I share it out there, and then people take it, and then they own it, right? But yeah, that's what's up. Make sure you lock in. This is about to be, this stream is just straight up heat today. All right, so let's go back here. Let's get back to our what's going on. Yo, what's going on, man? Yeah, we're just going through all kinds of things. Is the code permanently leaked? This brings a whole new meaning to the term open source. It's not open source. It was leaked. And basically what they've done is they have, there are folks who are now in that small window of time have taken the actual architecture for the app and then have rewrote it in Python. And then there's a team that's actually branched that and is now rewriting it in Rust, because they basically want the most performant Claude Code, right? So that's kind of where that's going down right now. This is a little bit of the backstory from Alex Volkov. If you haven't had a chance, definitely check out his show, Thursday AI, THURSDAI. He's probably like one of the most, like, this guy is extremely sharp. If you sit down with him, I had a live stream I was with him on the thing, like right off the top of his head, he doesn't need any notes. He just knows exactly what's going on every single day, every single moment. I'll have to have him on the stream because we'll have to talk about that. But definitely lock in with this guy. He's fire. Ever since the beginning of, I think, GPT-4, every single Thursday, they've never missed, bro. This is kind of what they do. All right, so yeah, Alex Finn up in here, Finn fam. What's good? This is huge. This is their way of releasing AGI. I don't think so, man. I actually think this was sincerely an accident. Attention to detail. I actually think my theory is that the model was like some model was used that was like AGI like, right? Like this is what happens when you get high off your own supply. I mean, this is what happens. This is the entertainment. By the way, this is an entertainment stream. Disclosure here. This is an entertainment only stream, and I like to these thoughts are just what I call literal brain farts. So as I'm saying things, they're just reactions, and they are not really thought through. So please, if you take any of these things and you clip them and you try to shove them in your own edition, the joke's on you because you actually didn't like understand what was going on. And so that's okay. And then the people here in the chat are definitely going to roast you for this. Yo, what's going on, Sigrid? So Sigrid, he's bro, this guy, oh my God, bro, this is the guy. So if you don't know, Sigrid, holy smokes. Okay, we got him here on stream. What's going on, man? This is the guy. So the real here's how it all went down. Oh, so what was going on is, oh my God, this is insane. Okay, so let's just see. How many stars is the repo right now? Holy smokes, I can't even keep up with this. So yeah, he also, I guess, used OhMyCodex. I met these folks. These folks are from Korea. These guys, when you think about the most cracked engineers, they do 2 billion tokens a day. 2 billion tokens a day. I asked them about, what do you think about Opus? Does it, like, people in America think it's like slop and stuff when it outputs the code? The first thing that he comes out, I can't wait to clip this. You see it in my last live stream right now. I have the IRL stream with these guys. I have a timestamp for when I talk to them. Skill issue. I'm like, they're like, it's skill issue, bro. It's skill issue. The level of locked in that's happening in this OhMyCodex repo, I think they combined, there's 2 different repos. There's almost 100K stars between these guys. Absolutely cracked. And if you've ever seen any Korean people play StarCraft, this is their next level, bro. Like, you can't even touch them. They're now getting into AI, bro. It's just like mind blowing. I learned so much just sitting down talking with them. I felt my IQ points went up by at least 30 points. Just having the conversation. I'm like, I'm not even pushing my agents in the way that I should be pushing them, bro. Like, and we're just getting started, bro. Anyways, let me get back into this thing. This is, yeah, Zerg Rush. Yeah, bro, I'm telling you. Yeah, Ray, my guy, Coriolis, bro. Coriolis, bro. He makes your billion tokens a month. That's half of his day, bro. It's 2 billion, bro. They do 2 billion a day. I said, how many pro accounts do you got? They got 5. They got like several Claude Code accounts. They got several ChatGPT Pro accounts. These kids are printing, bro. I was like, do you use the Chinese models? Yes, we use all of them. They're using everything, bro. Everything, bro. Like, yeah, let's see. Let's see how many, oh, hold up. Did we get how many stars? Let's see how many stars I got. Let me refresh this thing because I'm having some problems right now. Let me see, command 0, get this here. Okay. 42,000 stars. They just made this repo 2 hours ago, bro. Oh my God. What? Yo. Oh, what the hell? What are we watching right now, bro? This is okay, man. Okay, if y'all just catching up on the stream, let me put you on the sauce right now. Oh my God, actually wild, bro. A better harness, and then look at they got a Rust version up in here. Oh my God, this community is cooking. So they got the RCC API, Dev Rust. So what's going on? So this repo right here. Let's just kind of play back the story real quick, right? So Claude Code source leaked basically on the 31st, which is today. How it leaked. This guy discovered the leak and posted publicly. So the source code has been leaked via a map file in the npm registry for the Claude Code. And the source map in the npm package contained a reference to the full unobfuscated TypeScript source, which was downloadable via a zip archive. So here's the overview, right? So there's a scale, has 512,000 lines of code, not 600,000, 1,900 files. It was in React plus Inc, React CLI. And so these guys, this is the branch for the Rust port, because there's already some folks who are porting this to Rust. Let's just go back to the main branch and kind of see if this kind of gives more of the timeline and backstory. So this is a little bit of the backstory. So the whole thing, I think, is, he says, my girlfriend in Korea was genuinely worried I might face legal action. So I did what my engineer under pressure would do. I sat down and ported all of the features to Python from scratch and pushed it up before the sun came up. So this was at 4 a.m. in March, right? I mean, this is already 10 something here Pacific time. The whole thing was orchestrated end-to-end using OhMyCodex. These are the folks that I met over in at the hackathon this past weekend, right? And so a workflow layer built on top of OpenAI's Codex. So in this specific OhMyCodex, if you haven't used this before, it's basically the like craziest orchestration you've ever seen. One of the things that these guys leverage is like the team mode, basically parallel agents. They already have this all built in, Ralph mode. And it's crazy because now you have like teams being spun up. You have Ralph loops that are going on, and you can ship software crazy, like details and fast, super fast with this, right? So the entire porting session from reading the original harness structure to producing a working Python tree with tests was driven through OhMyX, basically OhMyOpenCode or OhMyCodex. And so the result is a clean Python rewrite that captures the architectural patterns of Claude Code's agent harness without copying any proprietary source. And so now I'm actively collaborating with this guy, the creator of OhMyX himself, to push it further. The basic Python foundation is already in place and functional, but we're getting started. Stay tuned. And so before that happened, as that happened, I think the folks said like, why don't we port it to Rust? I mean, we got the coding agents. Like we're in a crazy time right now. So it then becomes, Jeffrey Huntley, that's his name. Jeffrey Huntley, the inventor of the Ralph loop, has publicly said that AMD was started because some dude from Intel who had all the knowledge of how to build the chip was hired there, sat down and wrote a spec out for how to build it. He didn't build the chip, he wrote the spec. He got paid out his cash money, parachutes, golden, all that stuff. My guy, I don't know, he probably owns some island somewhere. Pieced out from the company. AMD is like, cool, thanks for the spec. Let's go ahead and hire everyone we need to build to make this whole thing. AMD was born. I mean, this goes back from early Silicon Valley days, right? We're talking about like compute, Intel and AMD days, right? Like this has gone on forever. So if you take something or you take someone who has the knowledge and then you spec it out, then you can build something on top of it. And this is something that Jeff Huntley has actually said. He says like, you can just use the Ralph loop to look through source code to pull out specs and then reverse engineer it all the way back down to like assembly and then rebuild that back up on top of it. And we're basically witnessing what he said almost like 3-4 months ago happening now in real time at faster than light speed. I mean, because this thing is still today. This rewrite didn't take several days. This took my guy hopped on a plane. My guy hopped on a plane while in the airplane Wi-Fi, kicked this whole thing off and cooked, bro. Absolutely cooked. These are the guys that I'm telling you that do 2 billion tokens a day. Koreans are different, bro. Damn. Yeah, bro, I remembered. And are you still giving away the inference engineering? What's that? The book? Yeah, I still got the book, bro. If you want, I need to do a giveaway for this book because this book is fire. This explains a lot about inference engineering. We're going to cover this in a little bit. Right now we're going on some topics right now. Good Starlink on the plane. I love the future. I agree. Koreans are different. Yeah, please give it away. I need that. Yeah, there's also a PDF as well. I've gone through the full diagram. Claude Code, amazing work by these peeps. Amazing. Yeah, bro. Like I said earlier, bro, if these guys, if you've ever seen them play StarCraft, wait till AI coding. We're already seeing it, bro. And also, these guys don't play. So one of the things I learned at that hackathon is if you ever go to Luma and you host an event, In San Francisco, 40% maybe of the people will show up. People are like, that's cool. I'll sign up for that. I'll sign up for that. You approve them all. 4 out of 10 will show up. If you get 100, 40 people will show up. In Korea, you do an event, 100% will show up, bro. That's the effort, bro. Lock in is like it's not even a thought. They live and breathe it, bro. That's part of the culture. Like, we have to like hype ourselves up to say we're locked in America, and like people still then like, oh, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go eat junk food. I'm gonna eat fast food. Oh, I'm like, no, bro. Like, you just wake up locked in. Like, you're gonna say you play StarCraft, bro. You better say you play StarCraft, because that's what you do, bro. You're gonna do AI coding. That's what you do. You don't mess around with 1 million tokens a day, 100 million tokens a day. 1 billion? That's only half your day, bro. You got to get 2 billion by the end of the day before you check out. Bro, I don't know if we're ready for this. I don't think we're ready for this, bro. This is just sheesh. Jin flew to San Francisco in February for Claude Code's first birthday, where attendees. Okay, this is about the using the most tokens. This is how they were put on the map a while back on. I think someone from one of the news articles wrote up an article about them, because they actually use the most tokens, and they're not just LARPing, they're actually coding and doing stuff like porting software, and have built these agentic harnesses that like just spin circles around everyone, right? So built with OhMyCodex. So they have a team mode, like they're saying, to coordinate parallel agents. They have Ralph mode, code-driven workflow. And I think this thing will not only eat away tokens, but it will ship your software. And I think right now, at the current state of the models, right? Like, you're only as good as the model outputs. And so you, like, Anthropic actually has blog posts about this, where they're in the belief that the more tokens you put out, the better you'll eventually get to your answers. Where the Devon team kind of believes the opposite. They're more about token efficiency and spending more time in the engineering to make sure that you craft all of the right prompts. So I think both actually are true, and to some degree. And then these guys really accelerate on that token burning aspect of that. So that's, if you're thinking about camps of things, make sure you kind of think about them like, are people coming from the token efficiency camp? Because you'll see a lot of posts on Twitter who believe that, and they'll really die on that sword. And then they'll see other folks like on the opposite end, like the Anthropic teams and everyone else, who are like, burn all the tokens. And, you know, each will go back and forth. Well, of course you want to burn all the tokens because you benefit from it. But that's actually, you know, it's beyond that. Once you kind of get past the Twitter beef, it's actually like both are kind of the same. Both reveal truths. I think both are interesting perspectives that you should kind of throw into the mix and definitely experiment where you can, right? So that's kind of like that in a nutshell. And so that's the, okay, this star history. If you were to compress it all, it would just be straight up. This is only hour by hour. What the I can't right now. This is the type of stuff they need to make movies about. That's what I'm saying right now. This is Claude Code, right? Yes, this is the guy. Quick overview about OhMyCodex. Yeah, you can take a moment. How much damn fire Ray provides. Seriously, awesome job. Bro, right? Like, this is, I need to visit Korea. I'm telling you, bro, I'm if you guys are down, I'm trying to throw another hackathon with these guys, bro. Like, y'all better show up, though. If you hit yes on the Luma, you need to show up. Otherwise, you're banned from the rest of my events. We need this level of lock-in here in America, like, immediately. Oh my goodness, bro. This is crazy. Crazy. Yeah. Sorry for the respect, bro. In case you haven't seen, the oven might have been the reason for the Claude Code leak. Saw it on X, not technical. Oh, oven bun 2008. Okay, let's see if it's on X. Let's see X. Let me look that up real quick. Let's see. I'm a little bit behind right now. Oven bun. Let's see. Oven. Let's see. Oven-sh/bun 28001, I think. Could have been the, okay, source map incorrectly served when in production. No. Wow. Okay. Oh, snap. No way, bro. 3 weeks ago? What steps can reproduce the bug? In server.js, in this HTML, so you have your source script module, right? And this is in script.js, right here. This is where your JavaScript loads, right? Blah, do something, console log something, run server.js. Note that the source map, even though there shouldn't be. So there's the expected behavior is here. No, but this is for being shipped to where? Let's see. Development and production. Disabled, 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 enabled. Minification, okay. Clearly shows source map should be disabled in production mode. Right here, disabled, okay. What you see instead, if you do t function t console log yes, then you see the actual stuff shipped here. Okay, but does this explain, this is only for shipping to the website, not necessarily shipping to an app, and how the app production pipeline looks like. Let's see. This issue will be automatically closed. This is a duplicate. Yes, you are correct. Jaren Subner, either the docs need pages for this. Okay. This is the same as, okay, what happened here? So, okay. Damn. It kicked off the bot to whip up a PR. Okay. Oh, look up this guy. Okay. An hour ago? Let me see if I can find him. MR Karen _. Let's see. MR Karen _. Oh. Why does it not pull up on search? Let's see. Yeah, I don't see. I can't see it right now. Okay. For whatever reason. It's a plausible thing. If there is a bug here on this source code leaking and stuff. Big if true. Damn, everyone's already going on Y Combinator news. Okay, let's see. Twitter.com _. Who's this fried rice to? Okay, let's see the post. Okay. Oh, okay, that's this thing. Yeah, so this is where they're saying basically the Claude Code was shipped here. But like, see, this is kind of where I'm confused. Like, I don't know how the pipeline is the Rust port. The Rust port is incomplete. Yeah, they just kicked it off, bro. Just chill. Like, they just kicked off the Rust port like minutes ago, bro. Just give it like 10 more minutes until the plan completes. Karan, my bad. This is why names suck for me. Okay, dyslexia got me. Dyslexia got me. What's going on right now on the thing? Let's see. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we got this. Karan. Okay, Karan. Yeah, here we go. Okay, this is what he says. Yeah. I used to be a big fan of Bun. Now I'm the biggest fan. Okay. Bro, X is undefeated right now. If true, this didn't age well. Okay, I'm confused. Does this mean Claude is going to be free for everyone? No, it's not. Comparison. Python main is 17 plus modules, 30 subsystem JSON snapshots, 280 line. Rust dev is 20 RS. Yeah, they're still working on it for sure. Yeah. Open code about to fork. I think everyone's like, I mean, it has to be if for educational purposes, like investigating, right? API clients. Yeah. Man, this is absolute insanity. I don't think I've ever seen something like this. This is crazy. Bun in the oven. So come on, bro. Oh man. Okay. So we talked about dreams. We talked about this. We talked about the open code. So let's go back to this post here from Alex Finn and see if it gives some interesting more insights. So we have dream mode. We have no more permission needed. So auto mode's coming with machine learning like YOLO mode. Agentic payments are coming. So X402 is mentioned way too many times. That's an interesting thing. So agentic, like you can give your agent basically a credit card and it's just going to go pay stuff for you. That's going to be pretty fire. So let's go ahead and save that. So also more models. So recently Capybara, this is what we're talking about earlier. So Opus 4.7, Sonnet 4.8, which must mean we have a few more releases until Opus 5. These are massive updates changing how Claude Code works. Clearly they don't want to be a vibe coding tool. They want to be an entire agentic employee. Okay, dream mode already runs there. Okay. So that was the post from Alex Finn, Volkov. We covered a little bit of Sigrid, who talked about this. And then this is the repo that he made. And the repo that he made already has 42,000 stars and climbing. in one day. We have it like hours. Like it's only been like 4 hours. It's already at 42,000. So from 0 to 4, literally stripper pole growth, up and down, up and down. It's only going up. Woo, what the heck, man? This is crazy. Oh gosh. Yeah. Oh my goodness. This is absolutely bonkers. So what's going on here? Yeah. So somebody 2 hours ago, the Rust port is only 2 hours ago, right? So like 2 hours ago, they said, hey, Sigrid, what's going on? It's now cooking as of like 7:56. So it's currently 10:35, like 7, 8, 9, 10, 3 hours, almost 3 hours, 2.5 hours. Dang. Yeah. And so give it some time, folks. I think things are still going on. So they basically have a different branch for it. That's kind of what we're talking about. Somebody talked about the hidden feature flags. So this is a really cool Easter egg that we saw in the video. So you can select your different species. Apparently this is supposed to be coming in there. So this person somehow like reverse engineered it to some degree and was able to get this thing kind of working in that manner there. That's interesting. Wow, this is absolutely bonkers. So you can actually see that. So the features that exist in the code that are currently gated, they're saying this proactive mode. So that's the thing that we're kind of learning about it trying to be proactive for you. The other thing that we're learning about was Kairos. So the context aware triggering. So somehow it'll be aware of something. I have no clue. This is just going off of X. And then there's going to be some daemon in the background that's going to basically trigger and so forth. So yeah, this is going to be able to. I don't really talk to many people about the AI space. Happy there are about 40,000 people interested in this quickly. Yeah, man. I think this community is growing super fast. I'm not downloading any leaked Claude Code repo. You want to get hacked? See, that's the other thing too, right? Like, could this be a honeypot or not? But the other thing is like, if true, like, we don't know. This is why I say allegedly, and this is why, ladies and gentlemen, this is an entertainment stream. Entertainment and education purposes only. I'm basically just sharing my opinion, and this is my opinion only, and my educational, like, everything that's coming out of my head is literally just a brain fart. It's not something that I really am doing right now as far as like a serious journalist study or so forth. So if anyone tries to take any of these clips and try to slander any of the opinions and so forth, that's really on them, because, this is literally an entertainment stream and you're watching this live with me, kind of sitting back as if you're kind of talking to another engineer. So I appreciate everyone's like, insights and kind of being able to hang with me live, because this is kind of what we do here. We're just kind of like hanging out. We're going to get into some other coding stuff as well in the future, but like, there's just been a lot that's been happening, and I didn't realize it was just going to be this much stuff to unpack. So I just wanted to unpack it live with y'all, because this is just too much, Last commit 21 minutes ago says the Rust port is being worked on right now. How ironic is it that April Fool's is just being around the corner, or the first is here in New Zealand? Hey, maybe. I mean, I don't know, man. This is crazy. All work is by Yuchan Hiro. Okay. Me waiting for solar. Okay, dude, this is great. Capybara mentioned. Yes. Building. Yeah. What I need is Claude Desktop with all the features for Linux. I mean, if you want to take some of this, go ahead and go be my guest, right? Oh yeah, this is definitely not going to be free. This is definitely not going to be free. I can't even. I'm a little bit behind the comments, but yeah. Do you stream to YouTube? Yes, I do. YouTube and X and Twitch. I do everything. So if you want to just go Twitch, X, YouTube, I think the best platform to probably watch is probably either on YouTube or X, because I don't think X has ads. YouTube has some ads and stuff like that. But whatever. I mean, if you want to watch the video on demand, YouTube is probably the best place, because if you subscribe, you'll get the video on demand later on. So you can always get that later. And then I'll try to clip up some stuff as well. So yeah, that's massive. Holy smokes. Okay. What I found was interesting here are, what are the consequences of this now? So I think some of the consequences are like, let's just kind of talk through them right now, like out loud, right? So if you're on the other side of this, obviously somebody's like, this is a war room scenario. So everyone is there, is just trying to figure out, what did we leak? What's out there? What things do we have to hide? What services and endpoints should we start turning off so that no one else can get access to them or discover how to do them? There are a couple different things. Let's just talk about quickly the security bucket. So if you're a person who wants to be malicious and like be a bad actor, now you have all the source code for, allegedly have the source code for this, right? And if you get access to it, then now you can understand what is happening. So there could be a lot of chances that people can get prompt injected, whether they realize it or not. Because if they realize that this system now goes and grabs files from certain places, all they have to do is have you install a package or do something to place a specific file that will give instructions, whether you realize it or not. Because Claude Code is literally just running on your machine, right? So similar to what OpenClaw is, right? Like all of these systems have risks because they're literally running on your machine. So if you have something that gets inserted into your memory through an npm package or anything else, that's a huge like security hole, right? So now we're like in the same boat as everyone else. They're like, oh, like you're secure because it's like, you're just as bad. Now everything's actually out there. Like now you have this entire working system that people are going to start architecting security vulnerabilities against. So as a company, I want to know like, what are they going to do about it, right? Like now that it's all out there, your agentic harness is now like naked, bro. Like it's not open source. So now people have an idea of like how they can attack you, and we have no clue whether you fixed it or not, right? Like what other holes are not patched? We won't know, and we don't know, right? Like how do we know what's coming from where? What is like when they're spawning these processes in your system, like what permissions do they have, right? Are they running in their isolated environments? How do they know that this file that they're reading is actually something that they created or was created by a malicious person, right? Like that's just the very basics that come off the top of my head. I'm not a security researcher. I'm just trying to think through this as first principles. And that's kind of what I'm saying. That's the security bucket, right? The other parts of it is like, the people with the lawyers and stuff like that. Obviously, they're going to have a field day with this because they're going to be like, yes, this is what we live for. So that's what it is. Like, obviously, the source code and people who are posting about it are getting removed. But there's a lot of other gray areas that I don't know about because I'm not a lawyer, but I'm pretty much sure that like people are trying to say, this is why like people are doing these types of things. And this is why this is a completely educational and entertainment only type of live stream, is because, I have no interest in showing what, source code and stuff that's happening, like going through all of that and asking prompts and back and forth, because I do respect people's IP, right? So like if this is my IP and it got leaked, it's kind of crazy if like I was just going through every single line and telling you exactly what ChatGPT was saying, telling me what's happening in some function or something like that, right? Because it just opens you up for a lot of things, right? But as a person who's like, I used to be an engineer in the industry, so it's just kind of me thinking through like, what would I be doing if I was on the other side of that? Well, if I was working there, if I was like in charge of some project, what would I be asking? Like I'd be asking that type of questions. I'd also be asking like, what's our whole process for shipping software? Like who owns this thing for shipping software, and what specific quality checks are in place? If it's a human, if it's another person, like who's doing the sign off for this, and like who's actually owning this? Like how is this a thing, and how do we need to instill these types of processes? I've had my own blunders. I've had stuff that actually has cost the company I've probably costed the company, I don't know, like hundreds of millions of dollars in like just from like literally bugs, right? And that happens to every engineer. But the best thing that I've learned, especially from the best managers that I've worked with, is that like they say, don't ever repeat the same mistake twice. And I think that's what it happens, right? Attention to details really do matter. And so when I became, responsible for a project, I basically never slept for like 2 to 3 years, every single waking day, New Year's Day hours, whatever. And it kind of sucked, but that's a level of detail that you need to have. And I'm hoping that this kind of starts to awaken it more for these different companies, that like much more is at risk, especially if you're having these systems that run and execute code, on your actual machine. It's all out there now. So that's an interesting. So there's security, there's the legal parts. Then I think there's the other parts of it. It's like, are they going to open source it? Are they going to do whatever? I really don't think it's in their best interest to actually open source it, because the more that they open source things, then the more it's going to actually expose all the vulnerabilities that like attackers can use to basically attack you, right? So if you're using their product, then you become a greater risk. So in some ways, keeping it closed source is probably the better thing, because unless it was open source to begin with, then that's a whole movement. Like OpenClaw was open to begin with and stays open because now you can see everything and build your own agentic engineering harness. The other thing that's interesting about this that most people don't realize is that they also are taking this agentic harness and they're training that against the models itself. So that the models in the model weights are aware of what the harness is doing. what outputs it should be doing. So whenever you're training a large language model, you know, there's these different things that are actually happening. So when they say the model weights, and when we talk back about like, you know, what's a token and whatever, it's basically a mathematical representation to other concepts of data, I mean, all over. So when you start to put them together into this type of system, the more that you give examples of your agentic coding harness, the better it is at actually not only complying, but getting the answers that you need. So they kind of work symbiotically, right? So that's why, you know, Claude has a Claude MD file and they're not switching over to Agents MD file because of all the training runs that they've been doing, right? So for them to add in the Agents MD file, I think it will eventually get rolled into it by default because of how much code is out there with referencing Agents MD. But therefore, their agentic behavior is really tuned specifically to Claude MD, right? That's just one example of many. And this is kind of where I don't see it ever being open source. But I feel like there's going to be more of a lockdown in terms of like shipping software for their agentic harness to be out there. So that's kind of the first things that come to mind. And that's kind of what I was thinking. I feel you on the hackathons, man. But if you're in SF, will you stream one? Yeah, I think I'll try to figure out how I can stream one that will make sense. You know, like from a show standpoint, that would be really cool. So I want to do something where I'm sitting down like this, but then my brother can follow me with a camera, and then I just interview and talk to people, which would be so fire. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that type of thing in the future. So they need to open source Claude Code ASAP. They're losing customers. I think that type of logic does not even make any sense. You're tying open source code to losing customers. I think that just absolutely does not make any sense. You know, not to like roast you or anything, but open source does not mean like customer retention. You know, I think here they have a custom product that works really well with their custom model that they have, and like it keeps improving, and I think it's still one of the premier coding, things. Like I think people like still like to use Opus. It's not like they're losing them per se. So yeah, I don't think that argument actually stands. Just say it's for parody, and yeah, this is a parody stream. Like if anyone is saying anything like that, that intern is having a bad day. Imagine having no, bro. It's like it's literally just an AI agent, probably, right? Coming in late. I'm excited that the open source can use this in a way that makes it better. See, this is where I think it's really cool, and this is kind of why I respect, like people who actually publicly post a lot of this information about how their stuff works. So OpenClaw is a great example, right? I don't think we'd be having this agentic explosion if it wasn't for OpenClaw, right? So OpenClaw put that out there as an agentic harness so that everyone else can kind of benefit from seeing a really good system and how it's architected, right? So Pete Steinberger is kind of genius. He put this out there and it's like, it's going to stay open. We're still going to do these things. And that's a really cool way of doing that, right? So it's not that OpenAI has to put all their secrets in there and then leak stuff. It's just kind of like its own little thing, right? So that's going to be interesting to see how it turns out. Hey, thanks so much for the super chat. You're saying, what do you call a cow with no legs? Ground beef. Joe, thank you so much for that 420, specifically 420. Is it pounds? Yeah, the pound. Yo, pounds to USD. I'm all about that right now. So if y'all got the pounds, send them over, man. I'll take that conversion any day right now. Let's see. Yeah, the fact that Claude Code got leaked is an engineering challenge. You know what? To be honest, even before AI, leaks like this still happen with some of the best engineers, some of the best people in the world. And you may, especially when you have like a build chain of software of rules and all these things that have to kick off, it's like one failure somewhere that's a silent failure can really kill you and wreck you. And you have to do these audits and kind of be consistently on these types of things, right? So whenever you have like a build system with software that can do some type of output for you, if something changes in that chain, you have to do all this additional work to qualify to make sure that you don't leak stuff like that, right? So I think, going forward, this postmortem is going to be insane because they're going to have way more attention to this than they should, which they should, right? I feel like that's going to be what it is. So yeah, I don't blame anyone for this. Yeah. How can I access the gated features in Claude Code source? I'm not going to tell you how to do that, but I'm pretty sure if you have a conversation, this is a parody. If I was doing a parody skit, I would be asking, some type of, AI agents, like, what do I do with this type of thing? So yeah, yeah, this is a multi-billion-dollar ecosystem. I don't think so. Like, I think the internet's making a bigger deal about this than it should be, to be honest. I think it's intentional from Anthropic, but it's a part of a bigger plan. Coriolis, I think you're cooking here. I think you're cooking here because it's right before April Fool's Day, and all of the news headlines is literally just a huge vacuum from, you know, what's going on here, right? So like people are now posting on X like what they're discovering, right? So they're not posting the full thing. They're just like, hey, take a look. Here's all the different sayings here from, the, you know, what I pulled up, right? So you can see honking, jitterbugging, meandering, like it already has 17,000 views. If I refresh this, we'll probably have more, right? Like all of this stuff is getting views. There's just too much content in there. So people are just picking it apart like hyenas right now, right? It's like from a content perspective, like even here, like this parody stream that I'm doing for education and entertainment purposes as a parody is already probably, I don't know how many people we got up in here. We got 1,100. Oh my God, bro. 895 on X, 255 on YouTube. See, like it's, you know, we're all talking about it. It sucks the wind from anything else in them. Like if you were to release a anything today, you everybody's just going to be searching for this topic, not necessarily for the things you're doing. Yeah, trust the plan. Yeah, you don't think so? I don't know. Let's wait how Anthropic PR department will spin this to make more money. You know what's funny is like I think it's one of those things where the leaks happen, and I don't think they expect it. Like this is definitely not intentional, but I think it's probably benefiting them because more people are talking about it. If you know what I mean. So that's kind of what they're saying there. So that was kind of the sauce on that. Let's see what else we talked about. So yeah, we talked about the hidden features. We talked about that. We talked about Claude Code itself. This is the 42,000. Let's refresh because I think this is going to have way more stars now. Let's see. Nearly 1,000 stars. Oh my goodness. We got 1,000. There was 1,000 stars on this repo just in that small period of time, like 20 minutes. This is probably one of the fastest growing repos I've ever seen. Is it trending now on GitHub? It's got to be trending on GitHub. Let's see, GitHub trending. Let's see. No way. Is it not? How? Okay, so it's not trending, bro. How is it not trending? It's got 47,000 stars. 43,000 stars. This thing's rigged, bro. This thing's rigged. Today. Yeah, today. Come on, bro. You can see live stars going up on mobile. You just reload it. Yeah. It's got more forks than stars. Tells you everything, bro. It's bumping up like 5 to 10 stars per refresh. Bro, no way, bro. No way. Oh my goodness, bro. Oh my. Stargazers, let's go. Let's see. 5,000. Damn. Plus, it doesn't show. Oh my. This literally needs to be its own stock ticker, but with stars. You know what I mean? Like, we got to have one of those because this is literally just going up faster than Viagra. I mean, Jesus. Okay. So for those who don't know, what this repo was the rewrite of the source code allegedly that was leaked. So this guy Sigrid, who we saw earlier on the stream type of thing, woke up and said, "Holy smokes, is this a real thing?" And then posted the code just for reference, I think on GitHub or something like that. And so his girlfriend basically got super scared and said, "Hey, I'm genuinely worried I may face legal action." So then he basically just used this thing called OhMyCodex, which we talked about a little bit earlier. And I'll talk about in a little bit. That thing, he basically Ralph looped with a team of agents to basically produce the entire architecture for it and the specs for the entire thing in Python. So it's not the original source code now. Now it's a Python version. And so now people are taking that and doing a version of Rust. So literally within the last 30 minutes or something like that, or an hour, Now there's a Rust version that's actually happening because people want the Claude Code, but to be in Rust to be more performant. And so if you guys aren't familiar with the Ralph loop technique by Jeff Huntley, so Jeff Huntley has basically said that you can just Ralph loop not only creating software, but you can also Ralph loop to deconstruct software. So you can take pieces of software and start to reverse engineer them down to their original specs, down to assembly, go back into specs, right? So you can go all the way down to the assembly mode and then go and like start to introspect everything. You can build a spec file from it. Once you build a spec file, now you can then build it, Ralph loop all your way back up into all the different features of that specific app that you want or any type of architecture. And so he specifically referenced a use case with AMD. AMD was born because someone at Intel had all the knowledge for how to build a chip, and AMD wanted to do it. So basically what ended up happening was that, they hired that guy or whatever. He wrote the entire spec for what would be the AMD computer or something. This is Jeff Huntley's story, right? And then basically gave him a golden parachute. He pieced out, and like he's probably owns some type of island somewhere or something like that. And then the AMD company said, cool, we're going to hire everyone to build out this whole thing, back in the chip days and stuff like that. Give me a moment. Yeah. What's up? Did we get a notice? Okay, cool. I'll follow up. Okay. I got to head on out shortly. I have some other family stuff to take care of. Okay, cool. And so that's kind of that in a nutshell. And so if you can do the same thing here, if you can then reverse engineer, write the specs for some type of code, and then put it out there and then build that back up, you no longer have the source code. You have representation of the specs and stuff like that. And so with specs, legally, like that's not, everyone can take your specs. They already know how the stuff works. You can make your own specs. You can make your own version. Open Code has the things, all these people who are making coding agents, they're all basically doing the same types of things. Not that they're copying each other, but it's like, I'm going to build an agentic harness, right? So like my agentic harness is now going to do these types of things. And so that's kind of what I'm talking about here. And this is kind of why it's really interesting. And we're actually on the brink of something that's really groundbreaking, and you're witnessing it here in real time. And we have not seen a moment like this in history, where everything literally just happens in one day, from the source code allegedly being leaked. This is an entertainment stream, and this is like for parody purposes. And we're just doing all this crazy stuff just because I'm still just wrapping my mind around this, and I have to head out. But I want to make sure we drop you with this, so that basically, if this gets out there, somebody sees it, they make specs from it, they put it into a language like Python, and then other people can then take that and all those specs and build their own languages like Rust, assembly. You can do whatever you want with this. In less than 4 hours. Are we cooked, fam? Like, this is crazy. Like, we went from like this being out there for like a millisecond, right? It feels like, wait, in AI time, it's a millisecond. Boom, copy, blah, 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 blah. And my guys, like agentic coding, I don't know if you realize this, these people are from Korea and they're like cracked, absolutely cracked. I got to meet the guy who made the OhMyCodex. So OhMyCodex, in a quick nutshell before I head on out, is a way to do agentic coding with lots of teams and do the Ralph loops. It's already built in, PRs, every single thing. These guys like ship software like madman. And when I say ship software like a madman, I'm not talking about just 1 million tokens a day, 10 million tokens a day. They do 1 billion tokens, and that's only for half the day. It's 2 billion tokens a day these Korean kids are shipping with, bro. Like, you've seen them play StarCraft. Agentic coding, bro. It's over, bro. Like, you just do not play. When they say they're going to show up to an event, they show up. These kids are locked in. Like, there's no like, I'm going to go to a No, that's weak. That's weak, bro. We need to get on that. America, wake up. When you say you're going to show up, bro. Lock in has got to be part of that culture. That's what's crazy about this whole thing, is that like, you can take something like this, throw a team and a Ralph loop on it, create specs, hand that off. Here's the repo. This is what this repo is. Here's the specs and the Python code for it. And then people are already making a Rust branch from it. Already has 43,800. Let's refresh and see how many more stars it's got since then. 44,000. We're seeing thousands of stars, like literally almost every 10 minutes of this thing go up. It's viral for a reason, and we're really witnessing history in real time through this live stream. I haven't even had time to get through my different topics. I'm not going to get to them today because, bro, this is crazy stuff that we witness, right? We're looking at a sponsor stream. How can we connect with you direct? If you connect with me on X, for sure, just drop your handle at Felt TV. Hit me up for sure. Tariq for sure has an emergency meeting right now for this as well. Just ran out of my weekly clawbacks. Please go in offline and key components of what makes Claude Code good. Pleaser, do the next stream. I don't know, man. Like, I feel like I just wanted to kind of let you guys know what I was thinking and what's kind of going on here as an entertainment only purposes type of stream, and trying to, like, you know, talk to someone else about this. Yeah. For educational purpose only, for support, consult your provider. Yeah. I know it's not going to be out there for long. So yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is crazy. We are cooking, fam. Yeah. Those OpenAI credits is so crazy. Yeah. It's like amazing, amazing, amazing. So we got like so many people on stream. This is just Giga Chad levels of crazy things. Yeah. What mouse tracking are you using? I'm just using a trackpad, the Apple trackpad type of thing. And this is just my the regular mouse on Mac OS. So yeah, 44,000. This repo already has 44. Let's refresh again one more time before I head on out. 44,000. Damn, bro. So yeah, this guy, if you haven't had a chance to follow him on Twitter, sheesh, this guy does not play. Already has. What did I miss? You guys missed probably like the most epic stream that this is a historical stream. I think we're witnessing one of the craziest events that's ever happened in the history of AI coding, where the company with the most prominent AI coding tool has the source code allegedly leaked. And like in that moment of time, these like cracked folks from like Korea and stuff are able to take this, like basically architect specs from it using the Ralph loop and the stuff using OhMyCodex. Basically using codex, using OpenAI's like codex models, right? They use the codex models to reverse engineer this one. That's what makes it even funnier, bro. Oh my God, bro. I can't right now. And then they write the specs, and then they basically make a version of Claude, called Claude Code, put it in Python, and then the other folks who are like Rust bros are like, we need this in Rust, like immediately. And so they make the Rust project. They have a branch in here with Rust in it. And so that's currently being cooked up right now. And people are actively in the community doing this because 44,000 stars? Shit, let's go. And it's exploding. It's exploding. The stars are flying. This was only at 6. This is 4 to 5 hours ago. Leave likes on the stream like immediately, bro. Immediately. We need to do this immediately. Yeah, we've never seen stripper pole growth from a repo ever. This had 0 stars at 6 o'clock this morning. It's currently 11 a.m. and it already has 44,000 stars. This is literally the fastest growing GitHub repo today in this world that we've ever seen. And this is we're witnessing history, folks. Look at this. Let me refresh it one more time. One more again. Let's see what's up. What do you think? 44,000? Hundreds of stars like every like couple of minutes, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you leave a like down below. Subscribe for Ray Fernando. I'm going to be doing some more AI coding live streams. I'm actually on my way to go take care of some family stuff. I had to just quickly pop in and get you in on this. This is probably the most legendary live stream that I can't believe. I'm still kind of struck as far as what's happening in the community. And this is just the beginning. So make sure you stay tuned in. Lock in, folks. If you're going to commit to something, America, stand up. We need to be on this AI coding thing. Like every American should basically have a $200 pro plan just by default. Like we need to be generating billions of tokens a day just to keep up. That's the level of lock-in that we need right now in America, right? Local models are cool. And like that will help us do some things like locally, but not everyone has access to the GPUs. Imagine putting that type of power in anyone who wants to get this type of thing's hands, like the amount of work that we can do to like move this whole agentic coding space forward, agentic AI, everything forward. Like this should already be part of like AI for America. You know, like you get access to whatever pro plan you got. OpenAI, we got you. Anthropic, you got you. These are American companies, right? The compute, like these kids are cooking, bro. They cooked. I mean, like it just takes minutes, bro. Like that source code is out there. Bam. We got this. Sheesh. Damn. Why can't we do that? Am I paid by OpenAI? Heck no, bro. Get out of here with that, bro. You're gonna get banned ASAP. Like, I'm not a paid anything, bro. Like, I sit here because I truly believe that if you can just start tinkering with these intelligent systems, this is what's going to help move everything forward. And the fact that like some other countries and other people are like have already realized this, people are lining up in China for OpenClaw like by the masses, like more than even half the population of like California. Like the movements are insane all over the world. They've already realized this. The fact that we're kind of still debating like one or the other, we're even arguing like this, is just kind of like, it's a joke. The joke's on us. We're arguing against each other. We shouldn't be. We need to be like up together. And this is what I do here. Subscribe. Like I'm going to take apart some of these things. I'm going to play with these things live. I used to be an engineer. So like I can sit down with you and kind of explain a little bit more simply than a typical engineer would, right? Because they're just too locked in on their stuff. Like I want to be building alongside you and I'm going to be building some crazy projects. So before I head on out, because I really do have to head on out, the project that I was working on that I'm going to basically tell you about is basically this one here that I'm working on. So this is called WatchClaws. And so this is where you can watch all your agentic coding stuff. And we're going to build this live. I'm going to subscribe to ChatGPT Pro and I'm going to activate a pro account just so that I can go through my whole entire architecture. So this will basically allow you to figure out like all your running projects that are on your machine right now, whether it's Cursor, Droid, OpenClaw, all of them will be here. I basically made this plugin framework and I've architected in a way so that you can just simply start talking to all of your different AI agents all from one place, make it as simple as possible. None of this complex UI garbage or nothing like that. I've architected it all here. I have got it down like to a whole science. I want this stuff to be in glasses. I want this stuff to be everywhere. It's going to be open source. We're going to be talking about it. This is what we're going to get into. And if you need this right now, make sure you lock in, you subscribe to Ray Fernando. All right, y'all. I really, really got to head out. There was a $20, we're looking to sponsor. Okay, yeah, I think I already covered that. So make sure I need the super chats. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you stay subscribed. I really have to head out and I will be back later. We're going to cover some more of those topics about Hermes, WatchClaws, and ChatGPT Pro. And I'm going to try to build this out live. I'm going to use factory AI missions for this because missions can help us out. ChatGPT Pro is going to help me with some of the architecture plan. I have a whole plugin system. So if you really want to see an engineer think through some really deep problems and start with the architecture first and then build this out, we're going to build out the first part of the MVP. We're also going to have a little drop down. So this drop down is also going to be available on the glasses. So people like Alex Finn with the reality headset can use this. Other folks who are going to be doing different things with their headsets can also use that. I want to architect this in the way so that it makes it so easy and so simple to kind of continue to build everything else out. So more on that soon. I really appreciate everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in and I will see you guys on the next stream. Peace out, y'all.